So, yeah. Good afternoon. And good afternoon, good morning to those online also. Yeah. So today, I try to be more disciplined, which didn't happen.
Half an hour Q&A at the end.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So on the first session, yeah. So didn't manage to do the traditional way. So maybe today we do a little bit traditional way. So we start with short breathing exercise, breathing meditation to settle ourselves in the present time, present moment, and calming both our body and mind. So simply that can be done by placing one's focus on the awareness of breathing or the rhythm of breathing, or placing aware of the sound of the breathing. Yeah, we do that at least 9 rounds. So we start now, okay? So before do that, just stretch your body a bit straight. Try to make the spine, stretch straight. One of the main reasons is to clear any blockage to the channel, especially the 3 main channels, the central channel and the right and left channel, which are the 3 principal channels that bring about the function of the entirety of the energy in the body and also to the mind, which are also play as a root to the rest of the chakras, which usually the 3 central channels lay along the spine, and it go all the way up to the crown, and it is root all the way down to in between the 2 secret hole. So more detailed, the breathing meditation happens. The inhalation and exhalation happens through the 3 channels. But for the very beginning, as a preliminary, not necessarily have to visualize the channels, but just to introduce what is happening. The gross, the air that we breathe in and out, not necessarily travel from the 3 channels, but the subtle wind energy travels through the 3 channels, and and that's the way that subtle nervous systems, subtle in the most subtle, the channels and chakras, through the activation of that, then it activates our subtle mind, and that subtle well-directed mind help to direct our gross consciousness and gross mental factors, and that way it helps to bring control over our emotions. When we're able to control over our emotions, we very much control over our life, control over what kind of experience of life that we wish to be in. and obviously we always want to be in peaceful life, peaceful experiences, and that very much comes from the capability of how much you're able to control your mind, control your emotion. So the breathing exercises, the ultimate purpose is to achieve that. Okay, so we start now. When you breathe, the breathing, scientifically, of course, the breathing very much from the lung, isn't it? But when we do meditation, in order to bring the utilization of the subtle wind energy, then that breathing happens from the navel. And when the breathing goes out, it go, travel all the way up to the crown, then come down, then you get out from the nostril or the mouth like that. So when you breathe in fact, the stomach area should be flattened. When you breathe out, the stomach area should be bloated. So you can even hold your left palm at the stomach navel area, and you can examine that. Then the right hand, you can rest on the knee, or otherwise you can just do the meditation mudra, placing right at the navel. Okay, we start. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, thank you. So those of you who already have taken refuge in Buddha Dhamma Sangha, then while I recite this refuge prayer, you can refresh them, the refuge precept. And those of you who are not yet taken refuge, simply acknowledge your true being, your true innate nature as equal to the Buddha nature. One's own innate nature is the Buddha potential or the Buddha nature. And having having conviction that this potential, if we nurture, it can result into the fully awakening state, whether you call that as your ultimate full potential, or you can call that as a Buddhahood, as in Buddhist analysis or Buddhist finding, the Buddha's omniscience finding that every sentient being, every living being carries the enlightened potential or the Buddha potential, which is called the Buddha nature. And that Buddha nature, through the cultivations of conducive conditions of virtues, such as love, compassion, bodhicitta, wisdom, that potential can be fully awakened, whether you claim to be Buddhist or not, as long as you nurture through beneficial wisdom, like virtuous wisdom and virtuous attitudes, which in Buddhist teaching called method aspect of the path and the wisdom aspect of the path. Again, such as like bodhicitta, which is also called enlightened mind, and wisdom of no self, wisdom of emptiness. Through that cultivation, one can able to achieve the resultant state of Buddha, which is potential is pre-existent in any sentient beings, in any beings that which carries the mind, the mental factor. So having faith in that and have a motivation to cultivate that. So that's very much serve the purpose of refuge. And on the basis of that, then generate altruistic motivation. The best, most beneficial motivation is altruistic motivation or bodhicitta motivation, which by simply expressing from depth of one's heart wholeheartedly, dedicating entire existence of oneself, and in particularly this very whole life, and this very year, this very month, this very week, this very day, and this very session, to be most beneficial for one's own enlightenment or liberation from all the inconvenience, and most beneficial for the enlightenment or the liberation from all the inconvenience to each and every single numberless sentient beings. So that is the setting up beneficial motivation, which will infuse our actions, such as this very session. About 2 hours of our time will be not wasted. Whether we, intellectually gain any new wisdom or not, but meritorious wise, we will accumulate beneficial meritorious impedance in our system, which will help for the well-being of ourselves, and that energy will also be beneficial, impacting the people and the environment that we live in. So that is the they traditionally sees the importance, especially the two important acts in Buddhist conducts. The importance at the beginning, which is the setting correct motivation, then importance at the end, dedicating the merit that we accumulate during the activities, like such as this Dharma discourse. Yeah, so like that. So try your very best. All the past Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and even ordinary beings, but very wise and compassionate beings, very much to become such noble beings. Everything started with the intention, having correct intention, having positive intention, like such as compassionate intention, which is common whether you're introduced in the Buddhist teaching or not. Those wise and beneficial people in the society, they carry the value of compassion. But initially, where this value comes from is it started with the aspiration or the motivation, which infuse into their day-to-day function, and that makes their actions are noble, their actions are beneficial, including of the Buddhas, like a Siddhartha, the historical Buddha, the Siddhartha, initially ordinary person like us, later who become Buddha because of generating this altruistic motivation. Buddha's one of the previous life, he was a beggar, one ordinary man begging on the street. And at the time, the Buddha of that time happened to pass through this beggar, and when he saw that Buddha, and he made an aspiration, or set of motivation, which is the bodhicitta motivation. Say, how wonderful may I be just like him, who is so beneficial, to all beings. And that is the first time the lineage of the Gautama Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, have started, who later become Buddha. So all the Buddhas have this similar starting point. Initially, all the Buddhas are as similar like us, like such as the you can see 21 Taras images here at the right side. The Tara, many countless eons before, in the human realm, during the different era of our time, in the human realm, she was born as a princess. Her name is called Ishidawa, and later she became Tara. The root cause of she able to become Tara started from again in front of the Buddha of that time. There's a Buddha called Sangyengada, the drum, the sound of the drum, the Buddha sound of the drum, something like that. Then another round, there's another Buddha, Buddha Vairocana, within the one of the Buddha among the 5 Dhyani Buddha called Buddha Vairocana. So in front of this Buddha, she aspire altruistic intention for the benefit of all sentient beings. Because of that, then by cultivating wisdom and attitude as her path, then eventually she becomes liberator, which is called Tara. You see, so similarly, each and every Buddhas and Bodhisattva carries, such a story, whether to do with compassionate Buddha, whether to do with medicine Buddha, whether to do with Rajasattva, whether to do with the Lama Tsongkhapa, whether to do with each of the 35 Buddhas here. Each of them have a similar starting point, and we too can create the same lineage. You see, so even though expressing this altruism from the mind of ordinary person, but that ordinary mind, that ordinary person's expressions of that altruistic intention cannot be underestimated. It is so powerful, like that. Okay, so try your very best. If you don't remember exactly how to go about the wording, doesn't matter. Just simply say, just like the Mother Tara, how initially when she was just like me, how she aspired for her enlightenment, and now who she become. May I be just like that. Zangye Jodan Zoye Jonala, Janjo Badu Dani Jazunji, Taji Cheche Jebe Sonamji, Dola Benje Zangye Rubarai Sho, Sangye Jodan Zoye Jonala, Janjo Badu Dani Jazunji, Taji Cheche Jebe Sonamji, Dola Benje Zangye Rubarai Sho, Sangye Jodan Zoye Jonala, Janjo Badu Dani Jazunji, Taji Cheche Jebe Sonamji. Dola Benje Sanje Drubara Jo Semje Damje Dewadan Devi Judan Dembrajuji Semje Damje Dungadan Dungaji Judan Davaji Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewadan Midawa Juji Semje Damje Niri Jana Nidan Anyola Nebra Juruji Semje Damje Dewadan Devi Judan Dembrajuji Semje Damje Dungadan Dungaji Judan Davaji Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewadan Midawa Juji Semje Damje Niri Jana Nidan Davi Anyola Nebra Juruji Semje Damje Dewadan Devi Judan Dembra Juji Semje Damje Dunga Dan Dunga Ji Judan Dawa Juji Semje Damje Dunga Mebe Dewadan Midawa Juji Semje Damje Niri Nidan Davi Anyola Nebra Juruji. Yeah, then the coming two verses. The first verse makes salutation to the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, from where this profound wisdom of emptiness and most beneficial attitude of Bodhicitta teachings come from. In order for us to receive the blessings of the Dharma to become a path, not just intellectual knowledge, but to become a path, to become your own the wisdom and attitude that very much like the heart, to the life. We need the lineage blessing, that not only nurture our memory or brain, but it nurture our heart. So the blessings of the lineage are regarded very, very important and beneficial. Then the second verse is salutation to the lineage gurus. The gurus such as the Masitas, gurus such as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, gurus such as the 17 pandits like Nagarjuna, like Adisha, Shantideva, etc. They are the nearest, the upholder of the lineage, which also serve as a bridge, the authentic, the teachings of the Buddha, upheld by them, both in extensive learning and realization of those teachings as a path within within their system, and they transmit that to the guru, to the disciple, and it preserved intact up to today, like such as living gurus, like such as His Honor the Dalai Lama. So paying salutation to the guru help us to create meritorious, interdependent, karmic conditions to receive the guru's blessing, and which will help us to nurture our heart even faster, like that. Gangi doze ne zone tawa tamje bangbeje tambeje ne tuan ze po dambela cha se Tony Ninja Zondo Jube Lama Seje Seju Kaje Tende Chana Bemo Tenzin Kyatso So Depso the Yu Chin Ye. Yeah, then I think I would like to suggest maybe collectively we recite 7 rounds of the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha's name mantra. One of the main reason for that is again, to establish the relationship with the Buddha even stronger. The second reason is for us to, with short period of time, within just a few minutes, and with this short line of the mantra, able to leave the imprint of the entire, imprint of the entire path, imprint of the entire 84,000 teachings, which the content of this mantra carries. The brief meaning of the mantra. The mantra is Tayatha Om Muniye Muniye Maha Muniye Soha. So Tayatha is referring to all the Buddhas that's gone beyond, or all the Buddhas of the past and present. Om, there are 3 letters combined together, A or Ma become Om, and which represent the essence of our own body, speech, and mind, as well as it represents our own resultant Buddha's body, speech, and mind. Then Muniye, Muniye, Maha Muniye, Soha. There are 3 Muniye. The first Muniye contains the entire teachings of the small vehicle, initial vehicle, such as teaching on refuge, teachings on the karma. Then second Muniye contains the entire teachings of the middle capable beings path, middling, the trainees path, such as teachings on Four Noble Truths, such as teachings on 12 link of interdependent arising, such as teachings on the Eightfold Path, such as the teachings on the 3 higher trainings, like higher training morality, higher training concentration, higher training wisdom. Then third Muniye, which added 1 extra word, Maha, means great yana, which contain the teachings of all the altruistic dharma, such as teachings on altruistic wisdom of emptiness, altruistic attitude of bodhicitta, such as like teachings on boundless compassion, boundless love, boundless empathy. Then it contains the teachings of all the 6 parameters, 6 perfections, such as the practice of perfection of generosity, practice of morality, practice of concentration, practice of patience, practice of wisdom. Then it also contains the teachings of the resultant dharma, which is called the Vajrayana teaching, or the Tantrayana teaching, the tantric teaching, such as the practice and the teachings of the 4 classes of the Tantra, like such as Action Tantra, Kriya Tantra, Yoga Tantra and highest Yogi Tantra. All the tantric teachings are also included within the third Mahamuniye. Soha means to actualize, or to arrive, or to achieve, to obtain. So in short, just like the past and present Buddhas, may the trainee me also by engaging all the Buddhas of the past and present, through the cultivation of the practice of the three yanas, they achieved soha, the state of full enlightenment. Just like that, me too, by engaging in the training of the teachings of the three yanas, and will actualize the resultant, the Om, the resultant body, speech, and mind of the Buddha that you're going to achieve. So very much simply meaning that. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so today the subject, the benefits and the obstacle to the bodhicitta. So benefit of developing bodhicitta, and obstacle, to the development of bodhicitta. So in just a few words to answer that, the benefit, it has the temporary benefit as well as the ultimate benefit of the highest benefit of the enlightenment. No other virtue can cause direct, can become a direct cause of enlightenment except bodhicitta. So without bodhicitta, even you have the wisdom of emptiness, the full enlightenment won't able to deliver. So therefore, if one aspire the highest form of knowledge, highest form of wisdom, the perfection in all the qualities, like such as perfection in all the 6 paramitas or 6 perfections, like says perfection in the practice of generosity, perfection in the practice of morality, perfections in the practice of patience, joyous effort, concentration, wisdom, then bodhicitta is the only way to achieve that. Then even to become bodhisattva, which is the the second level of the beings who carries the the great qualities. The bodhisattvas are the near to the Buddha. So if you want to achieve the state of the bodhisattva, so bodhisattva also got the two levels: the Arya Bodhisattva, the more advanced, and the ordinary Bodhisattva. So in order to achieve Arya Bodhisattva, again, without bodhicitta, one able to achieve that position. So only through bodhicitta, cultivation of bodhicitta, one able to become Arya Bodhisattva. When you reach the state of Arya Bodhisattva, even though you are not Buddha yet, but effectiveness of your benefit to sentient being is immeasurable, and the coverage of the benefit that you can deliver to entirety of sentient being is immeasurable. Even though not up to the Buddha's level, but still is immeasurable. Then, even to achieve the state of the ordinary Bodhisattva, Bodhisattva's path, like such as Bodhisattva in the path of accumulation, Bodhisattva in the path of preparation, even you have a wisdom of emptiness, you won't able to achieve that. But when you have the maturity in the practice of altruistic attitude, bodhicitta, then that will result in the Buddhist, the ordinary bodhisattva's level. So now, the great deal of even achieving the from the 5 stages of the path in the bodhisattva's path, the first one, the path of accumulation, the great deal is that there you will accumulate all the resources to accomplish the first countless eons of merit. That's why I call path of merit. In order to become Buddha, one need to accumulate 3 countless eons of merit. And the first countless eons of merit, we weren't able to accomplish within the ordinary beings' life before entering into the path. So only after entering into the path, which bodhicitta will make possible, then even on the first level, that you will able to gather the first countless eons of merit, which is huge, which is so important in order to develop the higher path and grounds. So then, because of the having the great favorable conditions in the level of path of accumulation, that which will strengthen the development of bodhicitta, will result to achieve the 3rd level of the path. First of all, we'll achieve the 2nd level of the path. And the benefit of achieving the 2nd level of the path will cause that individual practitioner to able to have a full preparatory conditions to realize emptiness wisdom directly, which is not possible in earlier path, and of course not possible in when before entering into the path. So because of the power of gathering the first countless eons of merit, now you have the meritorious conditional resources for your wisdom to increase, to actualize the conceptual realization on emptiness. When you reach the second level, the path we call the path of preparation. And by reaching there, again, by the power of the bodhicitta and by realizing the conceptual realization on the emptiness there, you achieve all the preparatory necessary needs in order to result direct realization on emptiness, which is the non-conceptual, non-conceptual realization on emptiness, which is the most profound realization on emptiness. And because of that will result that individual practitioner to achieve the path of seeing, which is also the first level of the path of the Arya Bodhisattva. Now, because of the power of the bodhicitta and accumulation of first countless years of merit, and also realizing the conceptual realization of emptiness, boosts the meritorious resources that individual to become Arya Bodhisattva from the ordinary Bodhisattva. And also, you receive the benefit of that bodhicitta will never degenerate, and that wisdom will never degenerate. Before that, the wisdom and method, wisdom and bodhicitta can be degenerated by meeting the obstacle. There are many forms of obstacles while engaging in the service of sentient being, through discouragement, you may let go of bodhicitta. Then by meeting teachers from the lower vehicle through the influence, one may let go, like such as saying that you haven't even perfected your own liberation while you're trying to be busybody, concerning the liberation of all sentient being. Sometimes even in our ordinary life, we come across people saying that, you yourself cannot handle your own life. You're concerned of all sentient beings' well-being or others' well-being. You're not practical. Sometimes people say like that, isn't it? So similarly, even bodhisattvas, they also do encounter time to time. It's a virtuous friend, but then those virtuous friends are who not yet courage enough to cultivate altruistic virtue, and they are mainly pursuing self-liberation, which is the ultimate goal of the Hinayana path, ultimate goal of the Sutric path. So there are many bodhisattvas, even in the path of preparation, they fall. They give up bodhicitta, they fall. Such obstacle also can occur. So now, the progress from the ordinary bodhisattva's level to the Arya Bodhisattva, again by the force of bodhicitta itself, but at the same time, when you reach to the Arya Bodhisattva's path, then that bodhicitta will be never degenerated, only will progress, only will flourish, never be degenerated, even by meeting any form of obstacles, will never be degenerated. So where this strength come from, one of the conducive condition is the first countless years merit. The second condition is the wisdom of emptiness become direct wisdom of emptiness, or non-conceptual wisdom of emptiness. So there's no conceptual limitations carries, when someone become Arya Bodhisattva level, and because of that, now once you reach the path of seeing, then the main the practice of purifying the limitations of delusions and limitations of obstacle to omniscience, the defilements start, and that start. So this sounds a bit technical, but not to worry. I think so. There's a 10 bhumis. So within the 10 bhumis, the delusional defilement and obscurational defilements are divided into, altogether divided into 9 portions. So again, the progress is mainly because of the strength of bodhicitta. And because of the bodhicitta, your accumulations of merit become so great that until when you reach 8 bhumi, you accumulate the second countless eons of merit. And then after that, up to the 10 bhumi, you accumulate third countless eons of merit. And because of that, you reach to the 5th level of the path. We call the path of no more learning. You become Buddha. You gain perfection in all the qualities. The limitations of not only delusionals are purified, but also limitations of the tendency of delusion, which is called the obscurational delusions, are also purified. So all these are possible because of bodhicitta. So that is the benefit. So in another word, if you want to become Buddha, bodhicitta is must. Even emptiness also not enough. And we admire those bodhisattvas, isn't it? Like compassionate bodhisattva. Generally, we admire some of you familiar with the Chinese Buddhism and the Kuan Yin, or the compassionate Buddha. We admire them. Maybe even in other religion like Mother Mary, is really like bodhisattva. We admire her because of her compassion, and she's like a bodhisattva, and like Mother Teresa, and there are so many. Maybe it could be you, it could be you. I mean, you do so much of greatness in your society, in your family, and all those greatness of compassion, greatness of the way of living in the value of compassion is we call the Bodhisattva's way of living. And that starts from beginning, from ordinary life. Your way of being in the society is compassionate way, and that's Bodhisattva way. And day by day, cultivating that, become ordinary Bodhisattva, then Arya Bodhisattva, then enlightenment. So again, when we talk about bodhicitta, because the subject is about bodhicitta, what that bodhicitta is, fully matured compassion is called bodhicitta. Fully ripened in the heart of compassion is bodhicitta. Fully matured love, that unconditional love, that is the bodhicitta. Fully matured empathy, fully matured kindness, fully perfected, matured practice of generosity, generous heart of giving, is the bodhicitta in another language. What really bodhicitta means. So that's one thing like that. And then, so even that, so from this understanding now, even in temporal level, whether ourselves to do with others or others to do with you, when the individual live in the value of compassion, that bring the happiness, that bring the peace, that bring the service, that initiate the service. Love and compassion initiate the service, initiate the friendship, initiate the peace. You see, and that is the benefit. Even though that loving heart person, that compassionate heart person, that kind-hearted person, not yet able to label as a bodhisattva, but actually you are practicing that. The degree of that bodhicitta is already practicing, as I mentioned before. When this is fully matured, then it becomes bodhicitta, and the person who cultivates that called bodhisattva. And that even grow greater that person called Buddha, and that mind called omniscient mind. You see. So now, so what is the obstacle? So obstacle is self-cherishing, or the self-centered attitude is the obstacle. The main obstacle is self-cherishing, grasping attitude, or the self-cherishing attitude. Or another word is self-ego-centered attitude, or selfishness. These are the main obstacle to develop bodhicitta. These are the main obstacle to become bodhisattva. These are the main obstacle to become Buddha. These are the main obstacle to be friendly person. These are the main obstacle to be generous person. These are the main obstacle to be kind person. Main obstacle to be compassionate person. When someone is selfish, someone is self-centered, there's no peace. In one or another way will bring trouble. Will bring inconvenience to others. That happens not only in others, but that even happens within our own mindset, within our own system. When we are selfish, self-centered, we become very stressed person. We become very narrow person, narrow-minded person. That will bring stress. More the selfish, maybe more the health problem also. Because most of the problems come from, in one way, is the stress, the conditions, negative conditions. One of them like a stress. The another form of the cause of all the problems are the karma, past karma, where this negative karma created, how it created. It created by the negative mind, which is this self-centered attitude. That self-centered attitude comes in the form of ego. It comes in the phases of attachment grasping. It comes in the phases of aversion. It comes in the phases of jealousy. All these form of negative emotion, if you want to, number it, there's 84,000 negative emotions out there. And each of these 84,000 negative emotions are all expressions or different phases of self-cherishing attitude. If you condense that in a smaller number, then 20 secondary delusions, and that you form into smaller number, then 6 root delusion. That form into smaller number, 3 root delusions, like such as anger, attachment, and ignorant. You see, so even the self-grasping ignorant is very much like the two face of one coin. The another face is self-grasping ignorant. The other face is self-cherishing attitude, self-centered attitude. But still, it born from the same body. So those are the main obstacle. So that's the main obstacle. So now, in order for us to stay away from those obstacles, then there's some training has to be, some exercise need to be done. Some regular exercise is needed, especially a beginner person like me, a practitioner like me. I need consistent and long time training of exercise is needed, because the habitual the imprint that I carry from the self-centered attitude is huge. It's very thick, very heavy, very deep, because I accumulated the self-centered, the imprint from beginningless lifetime. In Buddhist teaching would understand that we have limitless life in the past, and most of the earlier past lifetime are unfavorable life. Even in the favorable life, like we human being, most of the time we cultivate wrong emotions, isn't it? We cultivate more negative emotions, and positive emotions, positive cultivation of heart is actually quite low percentage. Quite large number of our thoughts are actually neutral. It's like kind of blank. Let's say when we go to sleep, most of the time 6-7 hours is like very much like neutral. In most cases, even the sleep also become very negative accumulation of karma because we sleep with anger. We sleep initiated or infused by anger mind. We go to sleep infused by attachment grasping. You see, we sometimes go to bed infused by wrong views, and that in different mind, there's a 51 mental factors. So when we learn about the mind, there's one particular mind called the mind that which can sway by the other's mind. So very much meaning such as sleeping mind can divert, can sway by the influence of the other mind, which is the motivational mind. So before go to sleep, if you generate compassion, entire 6-7 hours of sleeping mind become all virtue, compassion, and impact that we will receive. If you go to sleep with the mind of angry, the entire 6-7 hours of sleep accumulate negative energy in relation to anger. So there are certain mind, like that. Because why I'm basically mentioning about sleeping mind, because we try to sleep. It's minimum 6 hours, 7 hours, isn't it? And we sleep. We must sleep at least some time within 24 hours repeatedly in whole life, isn't it? So we spend a lot of time sleeping, and we have a choice with the simple mindfulness to remember to sleep with the virtuous intention. So easily you can accumulate 6 hours of merits, 6 hours of consecration to your body and mind and the environment where you live, your home, and the people around you, your family, will be consecrated, will be infused by the positive energy, the meritorious energy, the meritorious impact, And if we're able to sleep with positive thinking, when we wake up, we're definitely going to be a more positive day. We will wake up with more with carrying with more positive mind, and that naturally will impact to be happier morning. Then that will definitely taste the breakfast nicer, even though same breakfast. Yesterday tasted awful because you are so upset. You wake up with, still still carry on the narration that which narrated before go to bed with complaint and with anger or whatever it is, and the breakfast won't find any good taste, isn't it? And that will eventually lead to the lunch also going to be awful, even though the lunch, expensive lunch in a very delicate restaurant, but your emotion is completely contaminated with this negative energy. You won't enjoy the lunch. You see, then that will again influence the night. Then that will influence again the next day. So it's not only wasted the day and our energy, but also we accumulate so much of negative causes and conditions, to bring so much inconvenience to our life, you see. So if we're able to sleep with the intention of bodhicitta, just simply wholeheartedly expressing that, I'm going to go to sleep for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, starting from my family. Or you can even say, starting from myself and my family members, and for rest of the sentient beings, temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. I'm going to go to bed.
So you're in a good mood tomorrow?
Without doubt, we'll try it out.
Okay.
When you wake up, you say, "Wow, I behave like Bodhisattva before went to bed, and now I wake up with so much blessings or so much energy of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas because
the benefit of others.
Because you are very much defined by your attitude, defined by the quality of your mind. Whether you're Buddha or samsaric being, whether you are good or bad person, don't define by how you look like, or the gender, or the color, or the ethnic background. Very much defined by your heart. An example, this 80 Mahasiddhas of India, they came into existence quite a number of years later after Buddha passed away. And within this 80 Mahasiddhas, Mahasiddhas who already, achieve the high, the city, the high realization on the path and grounds, and most of them are like Arya Bodhisattvas or Arhats, realize evidence directly. But their history, their background, some of them are butcher, some of them are prostitute, some of them, did many bad things, and they realized at one point of the life that all those are mistake, all those are harmful, and they renounce them, and they completely dedicate their life into purification and accumulations of merit and cultivation of positivity like the bodhicitta, and they become arhat. And the quality of mind make them become who they are, not their background. They still look the same. They still carry the same, the biological DNA. But earlier they were so cruel people, but later they become enlightened beings. So yeah. So therefore, in one way is that's why reaching to the state of fully awakening can be even achieved within right this very cushion, if your construction of your mindfulness is well constructed and able to uphold, with mindfulness, again, the sustainable awareness of your fully, your full potential in a full acknowledging of that full potential, in absolute positive way, the way how you would perceive the Buddha, if you're able to perceive the sameness to your own, inner being, and that's the experience of Buddhahood, experience of enlightenment, experience of realizations. But whether you falls back to ordinary or not is again the quality of your mind, quality of your concentration. That's why our innate being, our origin is Buddha nature, isn't it? But right now we are not Buddha. We are samsaric people. We carry lots of limitation, and who brought that limitation to us? Not a God, not external force, our own action. And who that action perform? Our mind. Our mind is the one that put ourselves in the zone of ordinary being. But if we are able to, we can also put ourselves into that completely purified. This negative karma, positive karma is very much the conceptual imputation only, because there's no inherent or substantial existent negative karma, and there's no inherent substantial existent positive karma, because ultimately enlightenment and samsara still lies in one taste, same taste. Buddha and our resultant Buddha and our present ordinary person, innate being, or ultimate nature lies in one taste, isn't it? So anyway, yeah. So now you see, so the one of the most celebrated techniques, or in other words, is most successful technique to develop bodhicitta, that which use in all the past times by all the past and present Buddhas who they become today, is using these tools. And this, even within our era, the era of this world system, when Shakyamuni Buddha came into existence, he again revealed that technique. He himself became Buddha using this technique, and he revealed this technique. And these techniques are again investigated by the great Indian pandit, such as Nagarjuna himself, such as Shantideva himself. There are so many great pandits like Dharmakirti, Chandrakirti, Bashubandhu, Buddha Palita, etc. These are the like one of the most serious scientists of Buddha Dharma. They didn't simply just accept what Buddha says. So, they did a rigorous study, and they didn't just settle there. They apply each and every single instruction, and they themselves become the guinea pig. It's like guinea pig, isn't it? They themselves become the object to be tested. So, and after they themselves actualize the result of those practices, like such as using the technique to develop bodhicitta, and when they develop bodhicitta in result, then they validate the teaching. And this been using for a few hundreds of years during the period of the Nalanda, the university in India, which came into existence about 400 years later. Buddha passed away. And during Buddha's time, there are so many, great bodhisattvas and arahats, like such as Shariputra, Mongolputra. They are all realized arahatship using again, the same techniques. Then later, for the past 1,000 years, of course, there's in Thailand, there's in Sri Lanka, great arahats. Even in Tibet, these great Kadamba masters, starting from the earlier the yogics, or we call the Masitas, like Geshe Domdamba, Sharawa, Chengawa, etc. Then all the way come down to like Lama Tsongkhapa. They use the same technique, and they achieve the result. And even in the present time, like His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama can be the one of the most obvious example. He carried the same human body, same human emotion, but he really enjoyed the healthiest mind. Not only he claimed, but we can witness that, isn't it? I mean, it's always, enjoy inner peace, and the vibe that comes out of him, not just because of famous, just the energy, just to hear him, look at him, just be around him. If you have tried that, you will be surprised. It is something special, and the energy is all positive. He's like, even conventional observation that he's I think the top 10, the number one, I think the world's spiritual leader that which influence positivities in the world. But he came from a country that was initially not even known well to the world, and he was born from a very humble family. And he didn't even train in these big universities, and he was trained in a monastery environment, you know. But he have this language, he have this vibe, he have this charisma that he can communicate with the entire world, you see. And where this coming from, where this energy coming from, where this quality coming from, is because of, again, train himself using the same technique, you see. And he says that his mind never get disturbed, and that you obviously can see that. And he says, since his mind is so peaceful, he said, affecting his body. Now he's 90 years old. You know, in Tibetan calendar, he's 90 years old, and he's still enjoying good health. Yes, of course, human body, he just had a knee replacement or knee operation. But otherwise, even the conventional doctor says he has the best health. And based on the current health, you know, he can live up to 100 over years. And spiritually, he claimed that he will live up to 130 years, just recently. Usually he used to claim that, you know, I will live up to 115 years. But just recent, after the operation, when he come out, he said 130 years, you know. You know, and it's not just saying it, but even the medical doctors realize that was his body is so young, so healthy, you see. But for him, he says all these things came out of the benefit of cultivating bodhicitta. And in our ordinary world, like comparing with many of us, the tragedy that Dalai Lama have went through was, you know, thousands of times greater than any of the tragedy that we can claim. Like I can claim that I went through, you know. For him, since 2 years old, he was put into a position that emotionally tie the connection with 6 million Tibetan people as like one family, as like brother, sister, or parent and children. That emotional attachment was built. Then there's so much tragedy came. Almost every day he need to hear after he, you know, flee from Tibet to India. Almost every day he hear that, you know, someone in his family member was in prison or killed or this and that. But still, his heart didn't disturb. But his heart actually become more and more powerful to really fulfill the aspirations of whatever any individual that you know, they aspire for. You know, even of those who went through so much suffering. You know, his compassion become power, and therefore, even in the most tragic period, he still uphold this inner peace. And that's why his mind is so healthy. That's why even affecting, you know, his physical health. So all these are living in that training. Of course, spiritually, we regard Dalai Lama as a compassionate Buddha. But from his side, he said, I'm just as ordinary people like you all, you know. But one thing is because I cultivate this altruism, you know, and that's the main thing. So that the training here is, again, it falls in the 2 points that I supposed to discuss: the benefit and the obstacle. You see, so this training are called the 7-point cause and effect developing bodhicitta. Another one is 4-point exchanging 7 other technique to develop bodhicitta. So the 7 points cause and effect, up to number 6 is the cause, and number 7 is the result. 4-point training is 4 point is the cause, and the number 5th will be resultant to develop the fully matured compassion, which is the bodhicitta, which will result to be bodhisattva. So the 7 point, first one is recognizing all sentient beings as your mother. And the training starts first. We at least recognize our present life's mother as mother. There are many people who have a hard time recognizing the preciousness of our this life's mother as mother, isn't it? You know, there are many people have a hard time. Many people feel not mother is the most precious one. You know, maybe my boyfriend is the most precious one. Maybe my husband is the most precious one. My wife is the most precious one. My father is the most precious one. My teacher is the most precious one. But actually, even for, you know, for if we think with a very clear and neutral mind, you know, to have this life, actually mother play the most important factor, just to have this life. And spiritually, all the goodness that we can able to develop using these human aggregates is very much a result of the sacrifices that mother went through just to give this life and save after even born, you know, during those immature time. You know, she is the main saver. You know, first 9 months, you know, she protect us in her womb. You know, she has choice not to do so. But any mother, you know, will unless the mother is other powered, like power by delusion, power by karma, power by other disturbances, you know. But the nature, the real nature of the mother is unconditional love to the child, without doubt. You know, even there's any mistake the mother have done, while the child is in the womb, or even after born, or whatever misunderstanding any individual may have towards the mother, that mistake have only done if the mother is in others' power, maybe power of the situation, maybe power of tremendous suffering in her, or power by the karma, or power by delusion, until that, you know, the mind is completely, you know, she cannot control, you know, and that may encounter, you know, she behaving in some kind of maybe, you know, disturbing relationship to the child. But otherwise, even generally, maybe 99% of mother will never, maybe in such position, or, you know, majority of mother, you know, not that position. And by nature, the mother's quality is unconditional love. You know, genuine compassion, like, you know, meaning like never wanting your child to experience even the slightest form of inconvenience. That's the genuine compassion. You know, even cause of her own suffering. You know, if there is a way that she can provide, she can alleviate your child from suffering, she will do so. This is the natural instinct, natural nature of the mother. You know, when it comes to love, is love meaning, you know, wanting, wishing happiness, and providing or conditioning the means of happiness. And that's what mother does. Even mother have scolded us. The ultimate reason is because of concerning our happiness. You know, she sees some unethical or some mistake maybe be doing. That's why she, you know, she may be scolding us, etc., disciplining us, etc. So in any way, so 9 months of sacrifices, can you imagine? Then after we are born, unbelievable sacrifices. You know, basically for mother, we are baby whole throughout our life. You know, even after you married, you have your own family, you are maybe business, maybe like principal, whatever. For mother, you are still that baby. You know, that fragile, that needed to be loved, you know, cared, protect. You know, and if you think carefully, it's unbelievable valuable. Such emotional attachment to us, and the person who carried that emotional attachment, who is a mother. You see, so therefore, recognizing the position of mother is the number one training. And first, we have to train that to do with our present life's mother. Then, reflecting on the karma and the life and rebirth, there are many, even though there are many kind of birth that we have taken, like a womb birth, of course you need mother. Even like born from like eggs, you also need mother. But they are also called miracle birth, warm birth. That those not necessarily need mother. But we have already taken numberless rebirths as a born from eggs, like numberless rebirth as a chicken, numberless rebirths as a human being, and many other animals like that. So each time, require mother. So therefore, even there's not possible one person that always, can be mother because of too many rebirths. So from that point of view, rest of the numberless sentient beings have been our mother. So gradually we come to understanding that all sentient beings as your mother. Then establish the same kind of emotional respect, how you have towards this life's mother, also relate to rest of the mother sentient being. Now the second one is remembering the kindness. So which already said before, remember the kindness of, especially we as someone that who introduced to the altruistic dharma. You can see the potential is amazing. Given the opportunity, the conducive environment, even to become Buddha and Bodhisattva. Even in the present time, that you can be so beneficial to your family. So this life was given by mother, you see. So there are so many other unbelievable kindness that mother have shown to us. So remember that kindness. Then the third is repaying the kindness. So now to repay the kindness. The way to repay the kindness, then comes the fourth and fifth, repaying the kindness by cultivating compassion to mother, cultivating love to mother. So the love and compassion are the tool to repay the kindness of our mother. So we start with our present life's mother. If in case physically our present life's mother is not existent, then we invest our present life's body, speech, and mind, collecting all the virtues, all the merits, then dedicate to the well-being of our mother. Or in the name of mother, we observe precepts, ethics. We practice charity, generosity. We practice all the virtues in the name of mother. So that's because if the mother is already enlightened, we rejoice. If the mother is in the samsaric world, your merit will contribute for her happiness. So if you condition for the happiness of mother, you is very much deliver the purpose of generating love to mother. And because of your accumulation of merit and dedicating her well-being, if she is in the miserable realm or suffering realm, that will condition to ease her suffering, and that fulfill the purpose of generating compassion to her. That's the way to repay the kindness. You see. So then the number 6 is the special heart, which is regarded one of the courageous heart, that in order to bring the greatest form of happiness to my mother, I will do by myself alone, and I will do now. You taking full responsibility and by yourself alone. You're not waiting someone's help to help your mother. You're not waiting to bring happiness to your mother, with the help of other. You find every resources what you have in your very best. You try to bring service to your mother, happiness to your mother, elevate her inconvenience, her sufferings, you see, and taking the responsibility by yourself fully, and also the acting right now. So that we call the courageous, we call haksam. When you develop that, And if you develop that concerning the well-being of the rest of the sentient being, then the next is result will be bodhicitta. It will result in bodhicitta. So in order to actualize that quality, that amazing mind called bodhicitta, you need to be perfected in all these earlier 6 kind of mindsets, six kind of wisdom and attitude that have to be developed in your system. You see, so this is one of the way to develop bodhicitta. The another way is the 4-point exchanging with others. So first one is neutralizing the 3 partial attitude, like excessive attachment to the loved one, excessive aversion to the enemy, and just totally ignoring the rest of the other living beings. So this 3 partial attitude is one of the main obstacles to development of bodhicitta. So you try to, rationalize. There's no point that even in our reality or the conventional life, earlier, someone is like thought like your friend, but then later just somehow turn something other way and become sour, become enemy. But then long time ago, you thought that I will never, ever able to talk to this person and never, ever get near to this person, or this person will never be something that which is favorable to my life. But then later somehow become best friend, and someone we thought that never come in our way to help, but then these people come and help. And sometimes we thought we place so much hope to somebody, but then at the end only disappointment happens. So there's no certainty. So there's no point like have an excessive aversion to somebody and excessive attachment to somebody. There's no point. That's very much the way of ignorance, way of self-cherishing mind. It's not the way of wisdom. It's not a way of wise person, wise mind. So rationalize that to ourselves and try to neutralize this 3 partial attitude. You see, and another way is everything lies in the nature of impermanent changes. You see, sometimes people may not change, but our own, our own heart change. So there's no point kind of have a fixation. Enemy is always enemy. Love is always love. And the rest is always ignored. So from this simple understanding, you kind of educate yourself and neutralize this 3 partial attitude. Then after that, the second thought to be trained is see all the limitations of self-cherishing attitude. Seeing all the limitations. Because of self-cherishing attitude, so many negative emotions have generated in our heart. Because of all those negative emotions, so many negative actions have performed through our body, speech, and mind. Because of those negative actions, so many suffering consequences we have suffered. So all are mistake of self-cherishing attitude. We place so much hope onto self-cherishing attitude. We've been service to self-cherishing attitude. We've been so loyal to self-cherishing attitude. You see, why we get angry? Because of we very much in the expressions of being loyal to self-cherishing attitude. Why we get anger to something? Also, is expressions of being loyal to self-cherishing attitude. Why we always get distracted, with worldly concerns, negativities, is because of these are expressions of being loyal to self-cherishing attitude. The self-cherishing attitude always kind of guide us. Someone behave like that, then now for this kind of action you should get angry, and it is win for you. But actually it's not. You see. So see all the limitations that what befall bring due to self-cherishing attitude. One of the another reason is why we are still not enlightened, why we are still have so much of roller coaster like a life, why there's so much of emotional difficulties, why physically, why not getting younger and younger, why getting older and older, why like living permanent. We experience, within our lifetime, there are certain people that we really don't want to be separated from them, but they pass away or they separated from you. Why? You see, so all these misfortunes are because of negative karma. And negative karma is very much directed by the self-cherishing attitude. So there are so many, even very simple way. When we, as I mentioned at the beginning, when we be self only think about just about self, just me first, everything about me, it really make you so small. Even though initially it sounds like so important about you, actually, eventually you discover that that's really that is the reason, that is the thing that actually making yourself so small. So unworthy because of the self-cherishing attitude. So, in short, all the defaults comes out from self-cherishing attitude. So, try to educate our mind. Then the third one is seeing all the advantage of cherishing the well-being of others. Cherish the well-being of others. And again, in the simple example, the real happiness actually comes in our way when we able to make someone else happy. Even in the gathering of respect, if you respect other, you gain respect. Even gathering of wealth, if you make generosity, the wealth comes in your way. You see, even the Buddha's teaching talks about it is a natural law. Prosperity comes from giving, offering or charity, to the needy ones. And in our simple, act of practice of generosity, it really happens that the moment you give it, the moment you're able to share your goodness, more goodness comes in your way. It is so true. You see, like if you want someone to like genuinely offer a smile, if you initiate that, you somehow you receive that back. If you express kind word, you receive kind words. You see, so so cherishing the well-being of others truly carries only the benefit. And in the practice of Buddha's path, altruistic path, then Buddhahood very much comes out. Buddhahood very much result of bodhicitta, and bodhicitta is very much result of concerning the well-being of others, like through the generations of love and compassion. It's all about concerning the well-being of others. So by practicing compassion and love, you're able to develop bodhicitta. Because you're able to develop bodhicitta, that results in Buddhahood. Even the greatest benefit of overcoming all your limitations when you get that, when you become Buddha, is because of concerning the well-being of others. And the greatest tools of the greatest tool that which can use to bring effective benefit to sentient being, which when we become Buddha we achieve, which we call the Buddha's two form bodies, is also result of cultivation, result of the bodhicitta, and the bodhicitta developed because of the cultivation of love and compassion to others. So concerning the well-being of others is the root cause of all the goodness. for you and for others. So again, train our heart with the reasoning and also practical exercise. We easily can be understood. Then the fourth point is now actually changing self and others. Actually changing. So here it's not about like me becoming you, you becoming me. It's just changing the thought. Up to now, the benefit of myself always the number one, and benefit of others always the number two. But now I change. Benefit of others is number one, and my benefit of myself comes now number second. So when you come to that position, then the result bodhicitta will be born into our heart, and you become bodhisattva. So like that. And there's another practice. It's more like the supplement practice, which is the practice of, we call the Tonglen, practice of taking and giving. Even after you train in the 7 point, like the six causes, and the number 7 result is not ripening, then for the supplement practice, they say you train in the practice of Tonglen, taking and giving. So first you exercise with breathing. So Tong means give, Len means take. What you give all the goodness to others well-being. What you take is all the others' misfortunes, take onto the root cause of the misfortune, which is the self-cherishing attitude and self-grasping ignorance. You see? So when you breathe out, you visualize that you are sending out all the goodness, like including good health, the merits, the wealth, the happiness, everything you dedicate in the cause of numberless sentient beings' well-being. Again, you can start with your mother. And when you breathe in, you say all the suffering in the world, and it is causes the karma delusion, ripen upon me is not talking about the legitimate me. It's talking about the false I, which we thought, this is me. This false I, this is not me. As if like I am here, isn't it? Am I here? No. You see, if you are not here, then where are you? But we believe that, either I am somewhere here, or either I'm somewhere here, or maybe whole of it. I'm not whole of it. If you are whole of it, and let's say if you got a heart transplant or limb transplant, then you are incomplete. You're not, only half of you exist, because certain aggregates are already thrown away, isn't it? So whole of it cannot be you. And if not whole of it is yourself, then maybe there should be one particular one. Then maybe most likely it might be the heart. Then if you're a heart transplant, then how about, where are you now? Or lung, or the brain, or maybe each one of them, then you become many. But you are only one person, isn't it? So again, logically, you cannot be each of them, because there's a fault of becoming many. Whole of them also cannot be. If one portion you separate it, you lose your identity. Now there are possibility maybe in the consciousness. Oh, the consciousness, the mind has virtuous mind, negative mind, neutral mind. Now which one? If there's only mind, okay, so maybe you can still kind of force yourself, I am the mind. But there are 3 kinds of mind. Which one is you? And virtuous mind and negative mind cannot be one, isn't it? there are two separate minds, isn't it? So obvious. Not only that, the mind has so many momentaries, so many numberless momentaries of mind. So you become numberless, which is not possible. You cannot become one. If you are the virtuous mind, then how about the negative mind? Where are you going to put that? You see? So now only option is maybe I may be out of myself or out of this base. So then now you search on the table. Maybe you must be on the table. Obviously it's not. Or maybe in the screen. Obviously it's not. Or maybe in the element. So there are only 5 elements. Are you all of them? Then if the one element is not there, again, you cannot find. You're missing, incomplete. If one of them, okay, if you are fire element, then how about the earth element? What's wrong with the earth element that unable to become you? So you are not in the earth, you are not in the fire, you are not the fire, you are not the earth, you are not part of the earth element. So basically, you can't find anywhere. You can't find anywhere. So that is absolutely, you are selfless in everything. No self in everything, isn't it? No self. No self within, no self without. But then again, this is not to try to prove that you are non-existent. Actually, this is try to prove that the non-existent from the false I, but then actually proving the legitimately existent I. And that legitimately existent I, or the person, exists simply merely in the name. Merely in the name. So I exist merely in the name, merely in the language. So it may sound, oh, that's how possible. And that's so true. You see, before we are born from the mother's womb, like myself, my parents haven't given name Tenzin before I was born. And if during my mother was giving birth to me, one Englishman happened to be there and tried to be busybody and say, oh, better name your son as a Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is facing you and giving Dharma talk now. Why not? But I'm not Mr. Bean, but I'm Tenzin. I cannot be Mr. Bean. I don't have Mr. Bean's passport. I have passport with Tenzin. My identity is Tenzin, and everybody will define me as a Tenzin. Recognize me as a Tenzin. I can claim it's nothing, it's no false. Me claiming as Tenzin, but if I claim as a Mr. Bean, it's a false. You see. But if this Tenzin is inherent identity of me, then Tenzin should be already pre-existent in the womb. You see, but definitely it's not. If it's already pre-existent, my father, mother don't have to think, find the right name to name me, isn't it? It's already come out together. Since there's baby come out, Tenzin should be the tag already there, isn't it? So that shows that it's quite clear that I simply exist merely in name. But that merely existing name has to be also cannot be exist simply anyhow. So that's why we say need to have a correct base. What are the correct base? We call the interdependent conditions, right conditions. So the right conditions can play as a culture, the language, whatever. In my village, there's no English culture, there's no English language, but there is a Tibetan culture, the Tibetan language. The Tenzin is like everywhere, and that's the easiest name that you can name. And it is also a nice name, auspicious name in my culture. And I mean, any parents, to their child, how ugly how ugly like me also will name Tenzin, isn't it? So I become Tenzin. So therefore, yeah, I think my point is that the root cause of all the sufferings, the root cause of all the delusions arise from the false view of I, false view of one's identity. So when we take all the negativities of the others onto self, means you're taking onto that false self. When you destroy that, the other phase, which is self-satisfying attitude, also destroyed. When you destroy that, all the delusions are destroyed. When you destroy delusion, all the karma destroyed. When karma destroyed, all the samsara destroyed. So this Tonglen practice regarded hard practice of the Mahayana Dharma. Of course, the hard practice of the Mahayana is bodhicitta, and the hard practice of the bodhicitta is Tonglen practice. The practice of taking and giving is regarded the hard practice. So that's why you add this as a supplement training, at least through your visualization and through your meditation, and also you let our physical aggregates to elements to involve in order to have a more effective training. That's why we use the breathing. Then gradually later, you literally able to, even though you may not able to transfer your merit to others, and you may not able to take others' suffering literally onto you, but you can still, generate very powerful condition for others to be free from that, that misery, and so especially to condition to overcome the root cause of their karma. You see, so because of the Tonglen practice, you generate a great amount of merit, and that kind of speed up to generate the number 7, the result bodhicitta. Similar goes to the 4-point training. Also, after the 4th point, bodhicitta naturally not arrive in our heart, then you train in this Tonglen practice for some time. And there's also, it is very much recommendations of Lama Tsongkhapa. There's also a benefit if you combine the 2 training together. So if you wish to train that, then first you train from the 7-point cause and effect up to the number 5, up to the compassion. Then you change the training, goes to the the 4-point training. So you exercise in the 4-point training. Once you've done that, you move back to the number 6 training. Then bodhicitta will result. And if in case bodhicitta is still not yet result, then train in the supplement practice of Tonglen. Then bodhicitta will result. So many great masters, they do combine these 2 together. You see, so like first, and that also have a preliminary trainings, which is setting the foundation to get kick off in this very advanced training. First, you train in the heart of equanimity, the equanimity, the heart of equanimity. Again, neutralizing the 3 partial attitude. Let's say, especially if you are going through the 7-point training, there's no specified the equalizing the 3 partial attitude. When you train through the 4-point, then the number 1 actually is equalizing the 3 partial attitude, isn't it? So it is beneficial to take some time to train in this equalizing the 3 partial attitude. Then after that, then recognizing all sins beings, your mother, then remembering their kindness, and repaying their kindness and generating love, generating compassion. Now you go and train in the 4-point. Again, repeat the equalizing the 3 partial attitude. Then after seeing all the limitations of self-cherishing attitude, then seeing all the advantage of cherishing the well-being of others, then actually exchanging self and other, then go back to the number 6 point, which is taking full responsibility that I will lead all sentient beings, to the peerless happiness of enlightenment by myself alone, and I will do that now, then bodhicitta may ripen. If not, again, train in Tonglen, then bodhicitta will arrive in us. So this is like that. So the practice of bodhicitta, it says in the text that it is so simple practice that which has the power to turn the worst into the best. Right this very moment that I may be this earlier moment, I may be the most cruel person. But then right this very present moment, if I generate the bodhicitta, even first time, even at aspirational level, your purity, your value is as equal as a bodhisattva, and you can call as a child of the Buddhas. From the, it has the power from the worst becoming the best. And the practice of bodhicitta, where we should practice bodhicitta, there's no kind of like a particular place that you should go and practice bodhicitta. Everywhere you can practice bodhicitta. In particularly worst places, the worst places are the best place to practice bodhicitta. In most difficult environment, by the people, by the nature, is the best place to practice bodhicitta. Like bodhicitta, giving example like lotus. Lotus born from the mud. Lotus won't born from the pure water. So it has born from the mud. So bodhicitta will born from the filthy places. So in the practice of bodhicitta, if you have a very nasty husband, that's the best place to practice bodhicitta. A nasty husband will be the greatest teacher. In the practice of bodhicitta, if you have the nastiest wife, she is your most precious guru. She is the greatest favorable condition to practice bodhicitta. If you are living in the very difficult family, and that family is the best place to practice bodhicitta. And how nasty it is, the quicker the peace, the joy, the happiness, the enlightenment will come to your way. This world is quite difficult place. And therefore, for the practice of bodhicitta, this world is the best place to practice bodhicitta. So therefore, in the practice of bodhicitta, nothing is bad, everything is good. In the practice of bodhicitta, every experience is the opportunity to benefit yourself the most and to bring the greatest benefit to sentient being. If happiness comes in your way, you can practice Tonglen. Immediately you can share with others. Suffering comes in your way, immediately you take the opportunity to remember the suffering of others and take on to the self-grasping, the false I, and try to smash the root cause of all the sufferings of the world, like that, Or if emotionally feeling very difficult, practice bodhicitta, So if you are experiencing the greatest the joy in the life, that is the best moment to practice bodhicitta, So in other words, we can sleep with bodhicitta, we can wake up with bodhicitta, we can eat with bodhicitta, we can hungry with bodhicitta, starve with bodhicitta, we can deal good people with bodhicitta, deal difficult people with bodhicitta, you can deal very tough job with bodhicitta, very easy job with bodhicitta, you see. And you can enjoy life with bodhicitta. You can find full meaning in the worst time in the life in bodhicitta. And ultimately we can die with bodhicitta. And without doubt we will enlighten with bodhicitta. So I think I better stop here. Seems like there's no time for question answer. Any question answer? Because I put an alarm. My alarm already ring.
There's time for questions, but no time for answers.
If everyone is okay, maybe we go just one question from the floor.
I can do a question.
Sure.
So I understand conceptually the self-I part.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't exist conceptually.
Yeah.
I can't see that you've given us tools, techniques for bodhicitta. What are the tools and techniques for? Because as you said, your self is quite strong. Mine is enormously strong. So I would really like to be able to get that self to go away.
Yeah.
And how? Techniques.
Geshe, before that, can you repeat the question from the
Okay.
online?
Okay. Now whether I able to repeat the question or not. Okay. I would. Okay. In short, I think if I understand this way, that you really want to develop bodhicitta, but you see the main obstacle is that false self, and you really want to get rid of that, and how to go about that, isn't it?
Right.
So, so there are few techniques. There's the technique that which use the Nagarjuna, Aryadeva. They've been used this in all the scriptures. The negating the false I by overcoming the four corners way of the false existence of the self. So whether I manage to say the right word or not, but it's something like that's a four corners. So self, the four corners are the false of the four corners. The self either exists from the self either exists by the others, self exists by both, and self exists by neither. So here is to come to a point that I do not exist. That the self do not exist from the self, meaning self do not exist the inherent self or substantial by its own potential. Self also do not exist. So the first one is like I do not exist in the time of cause. I do not exist in the time of it is potential. If the I exists in that way, then the result exists in the time of cause. So that's quite obvious. And more than that, I do not exist from the true existent self. The I do not exist from the true existent self or inner existent self. The second one is I do not exist from other cause. So that is quite easy. But main thing to understand is I do not exist the inherent others cause that which substantially existent. But even without adding the substantial existent, but just in a conventional understanding, like apple won't produce by the seed of the orange, isn't it? Like that. Then I do not exist by neither, and I do not exist by both. But if this one make it more easy to apply, as I mentioned before, I do not exist within, without, whole of it, and from there you come to a point that there's not even a single atom or single substance that you can identify as I. So we have to keep repeatedly exercise that, do excursion of where I am, or search for the I in every corner, in every existence, and concluding that you cannot find, but at the same time, you legitimately exist, and what the legitimate existence of the I is just nothing more than the merely label mind, merely label, or exists only in the label or name, So that's one thing. So the another method is train this conceptual mind to overcome the hallucinations of the false views of the I with two ways. By dividing, especially if you want to do very serious practice, serious training, divide our awareness into two portions. One is the meditative portion, one is post-meditative portion. So the post-meditative time is during our activities time, or normal time. See everything as an illusion of light, including yourself. The worker, who's taking walk, the worker, and the actions of walk, and also the place you're walking, all actually illusion of light. Do not exist the way how you perceive self, as well as walking, as well as the ground. It seems like there's an inherent I is like really, initiating the step. There's a substantial inherent firm ground is out there so that you can place your feet and walk. And there's an inherent substantial kind of phenomena that actually really making your 2 feet to kind of like, walk like that, isn't it? So, so that's the false view. That's the conceptual view. That's hallucination, in fact. And by training that all these are the illusional light, and repeatedly mentioning that in our awareness, eventually you start to lose that grasping of like inherently, existent self, or permanently, or subject existent self, like that. So then the another portion, whenever you get quiet time, or whenever you get, even a minute of quiet time, then try to get into absorption state of meditation, which is called the space-like mind emptiness meditation. So there, you get away from all the analytical observations. Just simply, absorb into that empty state of the notion. Like very much like you look up into the vast empty space. You almost like see nothing exists, but nothing. There's nothing to hold on to. Nothing to pick, nothing to kind of define like any form of like character, shapes, colors, and when you look within to the nature of the mind, which is the emptiness nature of the mind, is similar like that. Like when you look into it, by avoiding all the conceptual interpretations, philosophies, culture, ideas, wisdom, whatever, everything put aside, just simply have the notion of that one awareness, which that awareness is so vast, so luminous, so profound. It's complete empty, but yet there's a sense of tranquility. Complete empty, but there's a sense of tranquility. Then remaining in that, observing into that for even a minute, help to clear the very deep-rooted imprint of the hallucination of self-grasping attitudes. So by exercising day to day like that, gradually, this false view will start to fade away, and you comes to realizing that the true nature, which is the emptiness nature, the self. So these 4 points, and there's also another 7 points. That I have a short, small kind of note I will share with Per, and Per can share with you, so you can follow that to exercise.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh yeah, then we do short dedication. Yeah. So then whatever merit that we accumulate from this session, and all the merit that accumulated in the past, the merit that we're going to accumulate in the future, all the merits and virtues accumulated past, present, future, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Gurus, and sentient beings. May this collective merit be complete cause for numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsaric suffering. These causes karma and delusion, and actualize from temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause whatever inconvenience there may be in the world, such as a war, natural disaster, diseases, or even the inconvenience, to do with the global level or individual level, mentally, physically, financially, in relationship, through the power of this collective merit, purify them without delay even a moment, and actualize only peace and happiness accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. Anyone who passed away, in particular last 49 days, especially those who pass away in a war zone, in a war, in a natural disaster, facing untimely death, passing away with painful death process. May they be free from suffering of death, suffering in immediate state, suffering of rebirth, and actualize higher rebirth in Buddha's pure realm, and within that very lifetime they actualize enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. Anyone who requested prayers from me, who requested prayers from our Guru, to whom I promised to pray, may this collective merit be complete cause for them to actualize all their aspirations accordingly as they aspire. May this collective merit be complete cause all the beneficial beings to the peace and happiness of the world, like such as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, all the Gurus, and like yourself, your family members, always enjoy good health, a long life, and fulfill all your aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause all the virtuous institutions like monasteries, nunneries, all the Dharma centers, and particularly Podova study group here, may be free from all the inner outer secret obstacles, and actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the Dharma, to preserve the practice of compassion, both in extensive learning and realization on the stages of path accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. May each and every one of us will always have the courage and wisdom and the enthusiasm, merits to cultivate the bodhicitta, the altruistic attitude and altruistic wisdom, and able to be in most effective service, elevating the suffering of sentient beings and abiding them in the state of peerless happiness after enlightenment accordingly. May days be auspicious, may night be auspicious, may every single moment be auspicious for each and every one of you accordingly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.